remembered that He saved me, and how different I felt, and I knew that I was born again. So the Lord always reminded me of that experience with Him when I asked Him into my heart to forgive me of my sins. My whole life changed, and I was only 13. Fast forward, going to the churches I shared, it was just very hard. So I just got involved with just partying, you know. Years later, a couple years later, I went to another church, and it was very small, very family oriented. I absolutely loved it because there were so many young people, and my sisters and my cousins, and so many people were just so close, and we all loved the Lord. I mean, you can tell because putting all those young people together was just no way that we would have been able to get along if we did not have hearts for Jesus. But it was a special time in our lives, but it also was destructive for many people. The church broke up, and it was discovered that they were using the money for their personal gain, and many people backslid and were hurt. So it was really interesting. I mean, you look back, and the church was a cult. It was very small, as I shared, and we weren't able to listen to any other ministries outside of the teachings there. And pretty much every day we had something to do at the church, and we were very involved. And we spent our whole lives during that time for a few years really just dedicated to following Jesus, and also being very involved in whatever church activities were happening, Bible studies, outreaches, all of that. So looking back, it did keep us from the world, and I thank God for it. But the other side of it is that it wasn't the church that God led. I really believe he led us individually, but we just trusted the leaders so much, and we were so busy, and we were so young. We didn't know how to follow Christ, and how to really just learn to hear His voice and be still, be silent. And there was just a lot of fear of man, of what the leadership thought, and we were ruled with a leadership that was always watching. We had to ask for permission for things, but anyway, thank God that we no longer had to suffer going there, because it wasn't what His plan was, and that's why the church unfortunately closed down. Years later, I found an opportunity again, through the trials and tribulations of life, to call out to God for help. And again, I dedicated my heart to seek Him. And when I did, my life was turned upside down. And it was a good upside down, because I've never been closer to Christ than that time. But it was the most darkest hour of my life at the same time. And I'll get into that in another clip. But the reason for this is I want to encourage you. Being tired of church is not a bad thing. But you have to be very watchful that your heart is not bitter toward anyone or leadership at the church, or unforgiving or hurt. And if it is, just seek the Lord. Forgive those who you blame for whatever reason, for destroying or leading your life to destruction in your eyes. But know that God had you. If you were seeking Him, if you were truly sincere, He brought you to this place. If you're looking for the truth, you're here because He wants to reveal Himself and His truth to you. He wants you to dig deeper and to seek Him and His direction, His guidance. Get to know Jesus for yourself. Get to know Jesus face to face. I encourage believers, new and old, don't get so involved in ministry that you forget who the minister is, and that's the Holy Spirit. You've got to be very close to listening to Christ and what He has planned for your life. because you'll miss it, saints. You'll miss it. You'll listen to other people leading and guiding you blindly. You can't let that happen anymore. Find out all about Jesus. And who cares what people think about you? Just go into that quiet, secret place daily and see what God has prepared for you. You're in the right place. And I hope you come back, and I hope to continue to share some encouraging words. So if you found this helpful in any way, please feel free to comment and leave comments. And God bless you.